Scientists may have found a way to diagnose chronic traumatic encephalopathy, say that 3 times fast, in athletes while they are still alive. So as of now, you can only make a CTE diagnosis post-mortem. CTE is the degenerative brain disease that afflicts many professional football players and other athletes who have sustained repeated blows to the head. Now, there is a breakthrough, potentially. Researchers from Boston University School of Medicine have identified an inflammatory protein circulating in spinal fluid that may reflect the presence of CTE in patients' brains. The telltale protein called CLL11 appears likely to make its way into the bloodstream, where it might readily reveal the presence of a degenerative process akin to premature aging in the brain. Now, the lead researcher is Dr. McKee, who is also a co-author of a study published on Tuesday in the journal PLOS One. She is directing Boston University's Medical School's Chronic Traumatic Encephalopathy Center, which recently revealed it found evidence of the degenerative disorder in 110 of 111 professional football players who donated their brains to the program upon their death. So just take in that number, 110 out of 111. This is major. Among other objectives, researchers will need to demonstrate that the protein they've zeroed in on is a reliable sign of CTE and that it can distinguish CTE from other degenerative brain diseases. And they must understand more precisely how levels of CLL11 that can be measured in the bloodstream reflect those present in the brain. The new study also found that CLL11 levels in the prefrontal brain regions of football players rose as a function of more years spent on the gridiron. In the brains of former pro football players who played longest, levels of the protein were generally higher than levels in the brains of players with fewer years on the field. So we're seeing a pretty strong correlation already, but there's still a lot of research left to be done. This is what she said in her closing remarks. It's looking more and more likely that the tiny vessels that carry oxygen to the brain's farthest recesses become leaky and compromised. So looking for the downstream effects of such leakiness seemed like a promising tell for CTE, but there's still a ways to go. Brett, I know that you are a big football fan.
Yes, that is true.
So I was wondering when I was reading this through, if this study proves true, if they are able to confirm this, which it looks like they're on their way to do, what would this mean for the NFL? How do you think the NFL would respond to this sort of scientific data?
So the NFL has a long legacy of not really responding to scientific data and having there be a long gap between when everyone's kind of like, hey, we should look deeper into this. The long amount of time it took to have the official concussion study revealed versus also to have it actually carried out. I just hope that people aren't just solely waiting for the NFL to take the lead on this. I mean, it just seems when you see numbers like 110 of 111 former players' brains were affected by it. Now, bear in mind that was not a random sample. That was people who had been playing in the NFL, who had submitted, whose families and whatnot had submitted the brains to be inspected. But there's also a large occurrence within people who were playing in college, kids who played at a much younger age. So all of the arrows seem to be pointing in this direction. Things I think that the NFL can continue to do. I mean, as much as people say that it's ruining the sport, I think making the rules such that you're not getting hit in the head as repeatedly as possible. This year they invented another new helmet.
But isn't that the point of the game? Like, isn't that what they do? They just run into each other with their heads?
They do not. They do not just run into each other.
By the way, I don't watch football at all. So
I mean, it's actually
what it appears to be.
It's gotten difficult at times to watch football. I watched the Stanford UCLA game, or I think it was, when there were 3 calls in a row of what's called targeting, where you hit the guy in the head. And when you watch it, and
that's just part. That's what I'm saying.
So it's illegal. It's now illegal. They want you to hit.
You don't get points for it.
And no one really understands the rule right now is the problem, because the natural feel, what they tell you to do is hit him low. Don't lead with the crown of your helmet. Pull your head back and hit with your chest so that you're not just hitting each other in the head. However, there seems to be an instinct when you're running down the sidelines. Granted, I am a fan of football, but never played football, much to my father's disappointment, but not really. They lower their head right before impact, and it creates these incidents where no one really meant to do it, but it's hard to legislate it on the field.
So why do they lower their head? Is it just habit? Is it instinct? Like,
well, they're changing the rules now, so they have to reteach it for a lot of people. And then also, like, what you would do if you have a helmet, I mean, it's a lot of these guys like brace for impact.
Yeah.
And once you start bracing for impact, you make a decision and go a direction. Now, if you go the same direction as the other guy, shit's going down, you know?
Yeah.
Like that's the challenge. But, you know, cigarettes cause lung cancer. If you get involved to a certain extent, you're opting in. Now, it puts you in a difficult position. Cigarettes are different from football because cigarettes aren't like the one way out of poverty for a lot of people, or the one way to create but it is the one way to create a community for certain people.
Right.
But at a certain point, this needs to be the kind of common knowledge as we qualify it, knowing that the official numbers aren't all the way in, but along the way we make ourselves ready and make our decisions based on the information that we have, and the information that we have seems to imply that football's dangerous, and it's extremely dangerous for former players, or for people who end up having CTE.
Wow, you know a lot about this.
Impressive. I didn't study any of that going in, and that's the thing about being a football fan is you discover that you have opinions about things.
Just one of my favorite fun facts about Brett is that he knows a shit ton about football.
Yes. All right. Well, this is a good development in the medical field. So hopefully they do continue studying it and find a surefire way of identifying and diagnosing CTE while players are still living, because who knows, there might be ways to mitigate it that go beyond what can be done during the game, you know, and so that's, I don't know what that would be, but I'm just throwing it out there. The more we know, the better, you know, we can mitigate things. And remember, CTE is known to cause severe mood swings, suicidal thoughts, violent behavior. And so around the time that this CTE story broke, there were a lot of instances of NFL players who were caught up in domestic violence issues. And so, you know, is that playing a role? You know, of course that's a possibility. And so mitigating the effects of CTE, preventing CTE is so important, not just for these players, but the people around them as well.
Watch the Young Turks commercial free, download it or stream it, watch it any way you like at tytnetwork.com/join.